Elon Musk just became the first person ever worth $800 billion after SpaceX acquired XAI. Elon Musk is now worth $852 billion as he becomes the first person in history to reach an $850 billion net worth, the richest person in the world, the only individual in the 800 billion club, and projected to become world's first trillionaire this year. Is there anyone who deserves it more? He's literally changing our world and the next.
Joining us now is Walter Isaacson, an advisory partner at Perella Weinberg, professor at Tulane, and a CNBC contributor. He's also the author of Elon Musk, the authorized biography of the Tesla and SpaceX founder. Walter, it's really great to have you here. And what's your reaction to the deal?
It's amazing how Elon loves to blur the distinctions between his different companies. People move back and forth between them. And now it's good he's eliminating some of the distinctions, especially the distinction between SpaceX, which has an enormous business, especially in recreating the internet in outer space. But also, he wants to use his new Starship, which will launch again. Flight 12 will be in mid-March, to make 1 million satellites in low Earth orbit. And that will be able to create the type of data centers and energy that you need.
Data centers and energy is what we need in order to create what Ashok Elaswamy, VP of AI at Tesla, says will produce the cybercab, or more so accurately, the lowest cost of transportation, even beating public transport, while delivering a premium point-to-point transportation experience for everyone.
What is the team working on? Again, like I said, bringing in amazing abundance to this world in the form of widespread self-driving cars. We're going to have cybercabs, the vehicles that you see here. They are designed for autonomy. They don't have any steering wheel or axle pedal or brake pedals. It's meant for full self-driving only. It's coming later this year. This will have the lowest cost of transportation, even beating public transport, while delivering a premium point-to-point transportation experience for everyone.
So it makes a lot of sense for him to have that vertically integrated. Secondly, which nobody's really commented on, he now has two types of AI companies. The first is a company like SpaceX and XAI. And XAI, by the way, is very good now as a chatbot, and Grokpedia is good. Yeah. But it's a digital AI company. On the other side, you have with Tesla and other things, Optimus, real world AI, cars that can drive, robots that can move, and that type of thing is a way to keep those two companies connected, but yet distinct.
And it makes a lot of sense. And what no one has really commented on is how Elon Musk is now worth $852 billion, and he's projected to be the world's first trillionaire in a short time period. But I just love to see the look on his face and get a glimpse at Elon Musk's reaction after realizing that AOC and Elizabeth Warren will never complain about him being a billionaire again. And I read this post here from George Noble, and one thing really stood out to me, and I'll explain. But first, let me tell you what he said. SpaceX just acquired XAI in a deal valuing the combined entity at $1.25 trillion. Elon says it's about building data centers in space, but let me translate what's really happening here. XAI is burning through $1 billion per month. The company generated $107 million in revenue last quarter, while hemorrhaging $1.46 billion in losses. It burned nearly $8 billion in cash through the first 9 months of 2025. That's not a business, he says. SpaceX, meanwhile, generated $8 billion in profit on $15 to $16 billion of revenue last year. It's the only Musk company that actually prints money. So what do you do when your AI startup is drowning in red ink ahead of your mega IPO? You fold the cash burner into the entity that can still raise absurd amounts of capital. And we've literally seen this exact thing before. In 2016, Tesla acquired SolarCity for $2.6 billion. SolarCity was bleeding cash, drowning in debt, and trading near all-time lows. Tesla, the only Musk company at the time that could access the capital markets, absorbed it. Wall Street analysts called it a bailout dressed as synergy. Tesla's stock dropped 10% on the announcement. The SpaceX XAI deal is the same playbook. Musk's stated rationale that AI compute will be cheaper in space within 2 to 3 years is the kind of thing that sounds visionary until you think about it for 5 seconds. SpaceX builds rockets. XAI trains large language models. These are wildly different businesses with zero operational overlap. Imagine Microsoft acquiring a cement and steel conglomerate and claiming tilt-up concrete slabs are essential for data centers. That's the level of logic we're working with here. The real play is simple. Prop up XAI's insane burn rate with SpaceX's funding access ahead of what could be the largest IPO in history. And XAI isn't alone in this capital devouring spiral. The entire AI sector has become a web of companies cross-subsidizing each other's losses. OpenAI squeezes billions from Microsoft. NVIDIA invests billions in XAI while selling them chips. Everyone's propping everyone else up. The investment thesis across the industry has devolved into, and I quote, "Please keep the Ponzi spinning long enough for someone else to be left holding the bag." Meanwhile, the end product, AI, delivers marginal productivity gains for trillions in CapEx, soaring power costs, and balance sheet carnage. If these services were priced to reflect their true economic costs, most users would find negative value. But investors stopped reading balance sheets and cash flows long ago. The AI models probably can't read them either. What a time to be invested. So what's the play? Avoid the AI infrastructure complex. When everyone's propping everyone else up, you don't want to be holding the bag when the music stops. Look instead at sectors that have suffered from years of underinvestment, energy, and commodities. While trillions have been funneled into AI infrastructure, capital spending in oil, gas, and metals has been starved. That's how cycles work. Underinvestment leads to supply constraints, which leads to rising returns on capital. Tech has the opposite problem. Overinvestment is destroying returns. When you're burning $1 billion a month to generate $107 million in revenue, that's not a business model. It's a wealth transfer from investors to chip manufacturers. Emerging markets are also attractive here. They've been ignored while capital chased the Mag 7 and valuations reflect that neglect. The Mag 7 now represents roughly a third of the S&P 500. When this unravels, and it will, capital will rotate into the parts of the market where returns on capital are rising, not collapsing. Energy, commodities, emerging markets. Position accordingly, he says.
It puts another big AI player, in this case XAI, into the spotlight with this idea of AI infrastructure spending in a day where we're already talking about it, whether it's NVIDIA and OpenAI or Oracle raising more capital to build out its cloud. And of course, it comes on the heels of just a couple of days ago, SpaceX filing with the FCC for the ability to build out and launch as many as 1 million satellites to space for a space cloud as it builds out or considers building out, works to build out AI data centers from space.
But you know what I noticed? After all that and quite a lengthy and long-winded post to read, it's just funny to see haters in real life. As it is abundantly obvious, at least to me, that George Noble is just that, and then proceeds to defend himself in the comments section on his own posts. Reply after reply. You mad, bro? You mad, bro? And no, I will not be signing up to your Substack. It's funny, though, the contradictions that are blaring to me as I read this. And if we were to just look back at history and see, I don't know, 2016 compared to 2026 and how Tesla's stock has performed, And I'll drop the link if you guys want to read this Grok response to how has Tesla stock performed since 2016 to now after acquiring Solar City. But the overall trajectory here, the TLDR summary is tremendous long-term appreciation since the Solar City era, turning Tesla from a niche EV maker into a much larger company. Market cap now well over $1 trillion. The stock experienced extreme volatility, major peaks, for example, all-time highs well above current levels in prior years and corrections, but the net performance from 2016 to 2026 has been exceptionally strong for long-term holders. There is a lot to be discussed here and much that goes unmentioned by Mr. Noble here about paying attention. For instance, if that's what we're doing here, paying attention to the underinvested markets of energy, commodities, and emerging markets, for which I'm sure that there is some driving force and financial and fiduciary profitable compensation for Mr. Noble here to share such information, much like paying attention to what just happened to PayPal. And yeah, you want to get in when the getting's good and get out while you still have your frickin' shirt, okay? No shock, no surprise there, Mr. Noble. But like I said, Elon Musk is definitely making it so that Tesla owners can be very, very profitable business owners as well. And maybe the play here, maybe the investment move here is what Tesla Economics says. And many laugh at me when I say I'm building one of the largest Tesla robo-taxi fleets in the US. That's fine. Once Elon and Tesla give me the green light, I'll prove how profitable this really is. And chances are the robo-taxi you step in will be mine.
So you're a fan, I mean, not like I'm trying to turn you into give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but you think that there's a strategy, because the criticism, Walter, is he's taking XAI, stuffing it into SpaceX. And it's a little strange because just I think last week we were told that SpaceX was going to be worth $1.5 trillion when it IPO'd. Now we're told that the combined company is going to be worth $1.25 trillion, so less. So, I'm not quite sure if these trial balloons are telling us that there's more pressure behind the scenes than maybe we're picking up on. I'm fine with the grand vision, but it sounds like maybe a little bit more complicated behind the scenes.
But look at all these AI companies, whether it's OpenAI or Gemini, Google, spending huge amounts of money, right, doing data centers and everything else. Well, the best way for Musk to sustain that is to have it tied to a company like SpaceX that really is generating money like crazy and will do more so when everybody is using, Starlink and other internet services to connect. So I think this is his only way to grow an AI company. And I know you're talking about a IPO you think's going to happen and it'll be, $1.25 trillion. I wouldn't be surprised if he delays that a little bit because I'm not sure he's in favor of going public. He likes staying private.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. And, Elon's got a history. He's got a track record of not only success, but never really telegraphing his past or letting you know the next move before, hey, here's the next move. Tesla is pitching the RoboVan as a fully autonomous electric van that can carry up to 20 people or cargo with no steering wheel or pedals. The goal is cheap, on-demand group transport for airports, campuses, neighborhoods, and logistics, all running nonstop. Once released, it could make shared rides cheaper than Uber, cut parking needs, and change how cities move people. Vicky says, "Dear Elon Musk, my husband and I are in our 70s and we just bought our first Tesla Model Y and full self-driving. After 2 weeks, it's clear our Model Y is more than a car. It's like a robot companion. It will help us stay independent as we age and are not able to drive ourselves. Thank you for your visionary work in making this possible for humankind. We are so grateful." And that's just it. Tesla's AI VP, Ashok Elaswamy, says curse of dimensionality makes self-driving an extreme compression challenge. Tesla cars stream 2 billion tokens from 8 high-res cameras plus history buffer every few seconds, but must compress it all down to just 2 actions: steering plus acceleration and braking. The real difficulty is learning the correct casual reasons without spurious correlations. For example, brake because of turn signal, not a moving tree branch. Tesla's fleet generates roughly 500 years of driving data daily, but most is boring, and they proactively identify and collect only rare/interesting events, school buses, kids, hazards, and large fleet allows fast capture of extremely rare scenarios that are hard or unsafe to stage. With enough rare data, the system achieves proactive safety and early prediction. Again, for example, braking seconds before a potential crash by reading abnormal vehicle behavior. The bottom line is self-driving needs massive, high-quality, edge case data for real predictive intelligence in real time, and that uses a lot of energy. And there aren't enough, nor will there ever be enough data centers on this planet with enough energy produced to run and support the future.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, why take XAI? Why do it at all? You know, I mean,
Exactly.
access to capital.
I mean, what this does is it gives them the option of not doing an IPO.
Interesting. These companies would thus remain private, and perhaps you're saying that XAI can do so in a more sustainable way, drawing on SpaceX cash
LeBeau
flows.
will remember when he promised to take Tesla private.
Yeah, he will. He will. I think we do. This is sort of jogging our minds in that sense. I guess all I would say is if there's a chance that the SpaceX cash flows are reinvested in XAI instead of in SpaceX, is that a good outcome?
Well, I think what you're going to have, if he can get over the next 5-10 years, 1 million satellites in orbit, you will have the best energy generating and the best data centers there are. And yeah, I mean, it's maybe a problem if you have shareholders in one company who didn't like another, but this is pretty much private for him. He's always been able to look 10, 20 years down the road, have some audacious plan, like I'm going to go to Mars, but then backfill it with a business model that helps fund the way there.
Polymarket says that there's a 24% chance SpaceX merges with Tesla in H1. And now, with SpaceX having acquired XAI, this creates the most valuable private company in the world. Will there be an IPO? We shall see. For now, Elon Musk is worth a whopping $852 billion, just $148 billion away from becoming the world's first trillionaire. With SpaceX taking the #1 spot as most valuable private companies, leaps and bounds above OpenAI, ByteDance, Anthropic, Stripe, Databricks, Ant Group, Revolut, Binance, and Canva. We'll see how this one plays out.